Okay.
All right, I would like to call this meeting for August 8th, 2018. And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And would anybody like to do an invocation? And a roll call. I want to thank all of you because I sent you out an agenda and it wasn't even attached, but I left Alan's name off of it. I caught it. So the new agendas over here have it.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know. Because I looked and went, oh, I looked this morning. So the new ones have it in case you want to replay shorts with it. And I'll start with a roll call with Brenda Epp.
Yep.
Jerry Harris.
Here.
Robert Rodriguez here. Alan Smith is not. Bill Stark.
Here.
Steve Rhodes.
Here.
And that will do it. Our first order of business will be approval of July 11th, 2018 minutes.
I make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And I will turn it over to Bill with the financial report.
Okay, I deposited $2,503, I believe, for taxes, $2,503.12 to be exact. I transferred $10,000 from a money market account. We paid out $10,866.88. That leaves us a balance in our checking account of $580.45.17. And our money market, we got $25 in interest. And after I took the $10,000 out, we have $193,367.73. And I will be transferring another, probably $10,000 into our checking account.
Okay.
Could I have a motion to?
I'd just like to make a correction to what Bill said. The ending checking balance is actually $7,481.76. We're at the beginning balance.
Oh, okay.
And we need to pay this one?
Oh, yes, and we have a new one, what is it?
Water bill.
Water bill.
After.
And I'd like to be able to pay that water bill and pay $600.
That'll be the 6 months.
So 6 months, and I will entertain a motion to pay that tonight to Umpqua Water District for $600.
Move to pay $600.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I have a couple questions.
I'll forward that to Trista so she gets that in for next month.
Okay, W.S. Darley?
WS Darley was the, our thermal imaging camera came in. That was a VFA purchase. That's a large, purchase. That's going to be half covered by them.
Okay.
By
And then,
VFA. And then second, there was another one for $24.40.
yeah, Ellen Kurz?
That was the rescue struts that we.
Oh, okay, those are here.
They were
Okay.
$2,700, and we actually got a bit of a deal on them too as they came in. So I'm trying. The guy is wanting to come down and fit us for turnouts and everything else. And I said, stay back for a month and let us. I don't want to hit the board too hard. That's with thousands of dollars of bills, but those are the thermal imaging camera will be reimbursed 50%. And we also got hit with fuel this month, so that was a big deal also.
Okay, thank you. And I will entertain a motion to pay the bills for this month, including the $600.
We already had
Oh,
that.
did we do that? Oh, yeah.
Jerry, Bill.
Yeah, move
Okay.
to
Did we
pay the rest of the bills.
Okay, entertain a motion to pay the
We
rest of the
did.
bills? We did?
Yep.
Okay.
No, we just did the motion.
No, we
on
just did the water.
600,
We added the
And now
600.
I'm making the motion to pay the remainder of the bills.
Okay,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, that passes. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to Jerry. Communication report, please.
All right, updates, posted, approved documents, meeting videos, blotter calls, treasurer's reports, chief's reports, and fire danger alerts. We are still at the extreme danger level. I fixed the layout of the slideshows on the volunteers page. There was a problem with, they're called widgets on WordPress, for doing some special features, and there was a problem with it, so I had to go to a different widget to get that page looking right now. notice from DFPA regarding the danger of drones flying near active fires. And after that notice came out, maybe a week later or so, there was another incident where a drone was near a fire, and it turns out it was from the News Review. They had a drone flying over a fire.
What happens with that is that they cease flying on
Correct.
the helicopters and stuff, so that's something that's happening all over, and they're having some real problems.
Yeah, I saw a notice out of a California fire that's saying, please leave your
Yeah.
drones at home. I'm surprised people have to be told that.
It's welcome to America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All right, I scanned the website, including emails for viruses deleted that were present. There were no apparent viruses and no apparent phishing emails at this time, although some of them do at times seem questionable. And we do continue to get a lot of emails from vendors. So I leave that to the chief to decide, if there's anything that he wants to look at further. And then I would think that you would then let us know, Steve, if you think any of those vendors are worthwhile.
Yeah, we have enough vendors. We get stuff
Yeah.
all the time.
Right. Proposed change, none at this time. Requests for suggestions, always welcome any suggestions. Communications with agencies, received texts of fire department 911 dispatches, regarding that, I did notice, and I talked to Steve about that sometimes it seems like there's maybe half an hour later, a second dispatch goes out for the same incident. And sometimes, I'm wondering what the response time is. So I did talk to Steve about that, and I hope maybe you'll discuss that during your report, Steve, because you gave me some really good information
Yeah.
to help me to understand what's going on these dispatches.
There's a couple of different reasons. I can do it
Right.
now or later.
Well, why don't you save it for your report? I received email newsletters from SDAO, received notices from DFPA, communications with the fire department, a list of June blotter calls and report were received from the chief. Communications with community, posted public notice for August board meetings on the website and at the fire station. Communications equipment, updated software on the district computer. And regarding that, the Microsoft updates usually happens the day before our board meeting, but this time because the first of the month was on a Wednesday, the updates won't be out until next week, Tuesday. Any questions about my report? Comments?
That means there's no excuse for my computer being slow today, and it's just slow. My God.
All right, I'm going to presume we're not going to have any public comments. And now we'll turn it over to Chief Rhodes, please. Thank you, Jerry.
I think the things that you guys have here on the agenda, I think I'm covering, so we'll go with it. So for July, we had 14 total calls, 5 medical, 1 structure response, 4 motor vehicle accidents, and 4 natural cover, 4 smoke. And one of those is in our area. We had a natural cover fire. Someone was illegally out in the pasture up on Colonial, and then we had 3 mutual aid responses. We are still in extreme fire danger, and stuff's going on all over the place, but I got to comment that the folks in this district are doing a darn good job of being safe and not doing what they're supposed to not be doing and everything. Hopefully we'll make it through until the rain comes or whatever. We had some people down on the fires down towards Grants Pass acting in medical capacity as line EMTs and paramedics, but we don't have any units out anywhere else right now.
Will that be something that gets reimbursed for paying our personnel who go down?
They're going to get personally reimbursed for those.
Oh, just directly to them?
Right, the way it's going this year. Talking about second pages, Jerry brought up, the dispatch will normally hit a second page in 5 minutes. So they do not we are using active 911, they don't use active 911. So we can all be responding here to the station unless somebody comes up on the radio and says we're responding. They'll hit us again. And so normally, like when I come out my driveway, I tell dispatch I'm responding. So once they hear that somebody's responding, they won't hit us again with a pager. And 4 to 5 minutes is a pretty typical response time for us getting here to the station. 4 minutes, maybe. I mean, it takes me that long to get from my house to in here so as soon as I get to the end of the driveway, I tell them, because when I'm under the power lines, our portable radios, all they get is static in Roseburg. And the same thing happens with the banks coming from Colonial. They're usually one of the first responders also. And if they're under the power lines, we can't get out. So they'll challenge us that are we responding? There was one that came in a half hour late, and that was just a mess up of their computer aid dispatching, because we were already on scene when that second page came, and I'm not sure. We may get a page, if I'm on scene like a motor vehicle accident, we need more people, I'll ask for a second page to get more manpower, and it usually say that on it, that it is for manpower, or a structure fire or anything else. But there will be times, we have not missed any fire responses and stuff. We have been late on a few medical aids, and I'll either an afternoon call when everybody's at work during the week or something. And if I'm still doing hay, I'm going to be cutting next week. But if I'm out in the field, and it takes me time to get to my tractor, to my quad, and back to my car, and back in here, and we're late. I know with medical aids, we have paid paramedics coming from somewhere, and but there are times during the day as a volunteer department that we're short. And,
Well, some of the calls seem to be like in the middle of the night.
Right.
And I can understand how it can be really hard to get people here in 5 minutes.
we have a pretty good, medical aids, we have a little problem, people don't want to get out, but with the motor vehicle accidents and the structure fires and stuff, people come out of the woodwork for us, so I'm happy about that. That's why we get second pages, and normally it's not because we're missing the call, it's usually because of somebody hasn't gone back on the radio and told dispatch we're coming. Our training for the month this month included water sources, rural supply, the driver rodeo course. You guys probably saw the cone set up all month. Infection control, bloodborne pathogens, which we used safe personnel training through SDO for that, so that was pretty good. Water drills for our ISO evaluation. We did a lot of timing and videos for them. Fire streams, and then Wildland Firefighter 2 and Firefighter 1 online. Those were one's a 21-hour course, and then the next one's a 9-hour course. 4 of us have completed that in the last month, and so we're working on that. For firefighters, they're going for the Wildland Firefighter 2. Finished the Driver Operator Academy as far as we went this month for prospective engineers. It's tough, those cone courses are tough, and we had some people that didn't make it through. Those vehicles, the way you sit in a fire truck, you're sitting up on top of the wheels, and you're sitting closer to the center line when you're driving down the road or in the cone course. So people have a tendency to drive to the right. So they're over the fog line when they're driving, and when they're going through a cone course, it's a massacre out there because they have to learn where the right side of that vehicle is. And so some people don't really pick up on it, and some do, so we're weeding those out. We're going to take a month, this month, for doing needed maintenance and review of our stuff. And I told you we actually had 2 people that were out on the fires. One thing that had to do that driving course is I made a request to SDAO on what their policies were for driving as far as ages and everything. So he sent me back their policy, and another thing that came out of this is how can we use minors for working according to Department of Labor and Oregon's child laws and all that stuff. So 2 good things came out of it. We're going to change our driving policies to echo this, but volunteer staff under age 21, you cannot drive emergency vehicles for emergencies, no exceptions, except there is an exception, and that is if we don't have anybody else. An 18 to 21-year-old that's been going through our courses, as long as there's a trained driver with them, they can be a trainee status and start getting experience. But they're training until they're 21. Also, over 65, this one kind of came out of here. We didn't, kind of caught me by surprise. Over age 65, you're not permitted to drive an emergency vehicle unless you have an annual physical. And there's all kinds of reasons why they would exempt you, cardiac and diabetes and all those other things. Most of our folks over 65 are commercial drivers, and they're getting their physicals annually anyway and have current medical cards. But we have a couple, we have one that he's going to have to get a physical if he wants to keep driving. Another thing is violations. More than 2 tickets or any kind of violation, SDAO does not want to drive it. And then type A would be, those are type B, moving violations or accidents.
Is that on their personal driving?
Right, their personal driving. And then type A violations, driving while intoxicated, and a lot of those other things like that. One time and they're out, hit and run, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to amend our driving policies to say that. So they're pretty tight. SDA is on that, and I understand why. I mean, it's them losing money. That's too. The other thing was work hours. With our Explorers and stuff, we're limited to 14 to 15-year-olds, which we have a few, 3 hours per day. We can work them, 18 hours per week maximum, 8 hours on school days, only between 7 in the morning and 7 at night, not allowed during school hours. 16 to 17-year-olds, you can have any amount of hours, 44 hours per week maximum. They can't drive if they're under 18 on anything. They can't use chainsaws, can't be used on active force fires. There's a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, it sets some rules. No flaggers under 18, so we can't use Explorers for flagging on MDAs or anything like that. EMS, EMRs, or emergency medical responders have to be at least 16. They can't be an EMT until they're 18. And of course, the DPSST, they can't be registered as a firefighter until they're 18. So that, I'm going to have to make a policy on how we can use Explorers also. We're doing that right now, so anyway. That was all SDA stuff that came out this month. Explorers have been participating along with us. For equipment, we're still working on 1090 as far as supplies for command and safety functions. 1080, we had a blown muffler on it, we replaced. Pump tests for 1031 and 1030 are going to be the last week of August with Hughes Fire at Roseburg downtown. I'm not going to do 1061 this year. The tender, we don't have to do it for ISO. I probably will do it every other year just to make sure the pump is good, but we don't have to do it every other year, and it doesn't get a lot of hours on it. We're doing annual hose testing over the next few weeks, with half of it sitting out there in the parking lot right now. Received our initial VFA grant equipment, thermal camera, rescue struts, and assorted equipment. Got some gloves, flash hoods, flashlights, and we have some turnout. The guys come down to size us for turnouts in September. Something I got from VFA I need to keep you guys, I'm sorry for all this paperwork, advised of is as far as contracts. They sent me back the contract to sign, and that's one of them that I signed. So I have a copy of it if you guys want to look at it, or I'm not sure if you guys had to prove that or not. But it just enters us into the contract saying that I'll do what I'm supposed to and buy it during a certain amount of time.
And is there a copy for us to keep here?
Right, and send it all back, send the receipts back, yeah. So I'll have a copy of it, and they're sending back the copy that's actually signed by them. It's in the mail. It's not here yet. Let's see, facility. Oh, Steve Silva, and that goes back to what's on your agenda about liability carpeting on our property. He sent me some material on that, and there's a couple different ways we can go. One way is we can require people, like we did at the Grange, to have a proof of liability insurance if they're going to park their cars here or vehicles here. Another way is to just have a liability release. Like I would recommend we had one of those with the county, and just say if they're going to use this facility to park their units. They have been using parking heavy equipment here because they're chip sealing Melrose Road and different places around.
Do we have the form for that
We
already?
do not have one. So he sent me some samples, but the samples he sent, some special parking spots on everything, so he sent me forms like that. But the stuff he sent me wasn't really relevant to what we were doing. So we need to make up some kind of generic release of liability form.
Could we use that one to get an idea to make a new one for?
There's 3 or 4 I didn't print them tonight, but I can forward you guys what he
Okay.
sent me and you can take a look at them. I think that we can amend them. The county, they come out here and use this property and they kind of just think that they can.
Well, it was
It's
theirs at
public
one-
property, but
It was theirs at one time, so they figured it's
Yeah.
still theirs.
it's public, you know, like Steve Stoll said, hey, it's public property, but still you guys need to make a policy on what you do here.
Right, but what about
The
the?
private guys come
private-
in here all the time. I don't know how to deal with that because unless I catch them, somebody has to catch them here.
Well, there are
and
some times
say-
where I've seen somebody here in the office.
Yeah. So like a
But
knife
I'm
river.
sure they don't know what to say.
Right. So like Knife River's kind of one that's used
Right.
quite a bit because they're doing a lot of the school stuff over here. And I think we could get a liability release from them if we want them to permit them to use our facility here and give them some guidelines on where they need to stay away from the front of the
Well,
station.
that's the
that
most
kind of stuff.
important thing. They can't interfere with the
Right.
operation.
That could be on the liability form,
Right.
that could be put on the liability form that, you know, says you can park on the north.
In a designated area.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems to be them and some rock companies and stuff working on the school right now, that the people that are here most in the county. So we could certainly make I'll forward you guys what they gave me and then we can make up a form and do that. I don't
Well,
think there's any
perhaps what
problem.
we need to do is get a form letter sent out to some of these different private companies that we know have at some point used our lot, either for transferring equipment from one rig to another or whatever they're doing. And just let them know, you know, we have a liability issue.
I think we should have a liability, we can have liability releases on file for those people and then if we catch somebody out here, just.
Right, but
It's
first
not
we
gonna
need
cost
to
them anything.
notify them
Right.
that we do require a liability release to be signed if you're going to be bringing your trucks or equipment onto our property.
Okay. So.
Does that sound reasonable
Well, I
to
think
the rest of
it's-
the board?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
So, do you want me to draft a letter, does somebody here on board?
If you can send us those 3, I can play with it.
Okay,
You bet.
Anyway, he thinks that's a pretty good idea, very good idea, and some people do, some people don't, but it's probably right.
Kind of a to whom it may concern letter, so we just.
Correct, exactly. Yeah, very open and very friendly.
Yeah,
This
keep
isn't
some
the,
copies here too.
yeah, very, yeah, and then, you know, we can put the release inside of it.
Yeah, I'm thinking a cover letter to explain,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't
Yeah.
send them a release.
Yeah,
It
do that,
wouldn't make no
yeah,
sense to
yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, no, I get it.
VFA grant, 2018-19 was approved by the state, the signed contract, I signed it, came back, and when I get the other one, I'll bring it in for you guys to approve that. The ISO review was finished this month. I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna just have a general sheet here on what we get rated on. This is our pass rate, the 2011 one, and then I'll kind of discuss it, and that's not good. So basically, the ISO rates us, and this sets the insurance rates for our area. So they get receiving, handling, fire alarms. So some of this stuff is out of our, it's out of our hands. That's for dispatch down in the county. So the county, they rate pretty good. And they actually rated higher this time. They got some more phones and stuff. So the fire department is about 50 points, and we got 22 points last time. That's pretty reasonable for a volunteer department. Where we lose a bunch of points is in training. ISO and NFPA require 20 hours of training, for example. So a month, and we only hear 8 hours, and that's pretty much a standard for volunteer, but they ding us. They also ding us for the fact that we don't have paid people here, so we lose a large amount on that. Water supply is a big chunk, 40%, and our water supply, according with ISO's recommendations, is pretty crappy from Umpqua Basin. They got a little bit higher rating this time, but 18 out of 40 we lose. So out of 100 points, last time we scored 47. That puts us, they round down to 40, puts us at a 60 or a 6 out of 10. So that's how we got our 6. If you're past 1,000 feet from a hydrant, it was an 8B because you lose the water points. So what happened this time is we've gone into an alternative water supply, and basically we used what happened on the Lookingglass school fire. By bringing in all mutual aid water tenders within 15 miles, we can actually provide more water than what the hydrants can provide for residents. So it looks like we're going to get that rating, and then we also made some improvements as far as the pump testing and all that kind of stuff, added points all the way down through our equipment and all that stuff, and just some of the stuff we've been doing, the training stuff and the service on the rigs and that kind of stuff has come all the way down through and helped us a lot. So we're probably going to be reducing to a 5 and a 5 straight through with no second rating for the entire district within 5 miles of the station. So that should be, I'm going to be the first person that's going to go down to my insurance guy and go, hey, tell me about this. What's this mean? It should be a definite rating approval for, well, it is for everybody within 5 miles of the station. It won't matter if you're 1,000 feet of hydrant. From 5 miles to 7 miles out, this water, this alternative water supply, we'll bring them down. We'll bring them into our group also. And so that's going to take almost up, it should take up the touchstone. I don't know exactly how far you guys are out.
I don't know exactly. I'll tell you.
We did Raven Lane 7.3 miles, but then another thing that came out of this is because of automatic aid, we were able to use Melrose Station 3s on the far reaches of Colonial and Flournoy, and then also Melrose Station 2, Douglas District 2 station down in Carnes. So that picks up all of Happy Valley also. So, and they're starting to put hydrants all the way out in Happy Valley now. They've got them out to about Steinhauer now, District 2 is. So those will be used as part of our rural area also, so that's benefiting.
6.3 to my house.
So you're going to also, you guys right now are 8Bs or possibly 10s because you're outside the 5 mile circle. So you guys will benefit from this also.
When will that go into effect?
Well, he's going to be sending a letter that goes to the board president, so it's going to come in the mail to you. And they're doing it all right now through the.
So then we turn around and yell at the insurance company.
We don't yell at them.
Bill will.
Now that, I want to caution everybody that that's what should happen, but insurance companies, it's by the market, and so some insurance companies do like 10 and then less than 8. Some of them do 10, 8, and 5 as levels of where they will change your rating and stuff. So we're going to see what happens. If people out past 7 miles, because of the alternative water supply thing they're doing, they're going to have a new classification called the 10W, which they're going to get credit for our ability to deliver water. So instead of being totally unrated right now, they're going to get some kind of credit for water, so that should also benefit them. So we're looking to see, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, and it looks like it's going to be a benefit for all of us. And a lot of it is alternative water supply, and then some of the improvements we've made since in the last 3 or 4 years as far as maintaining our units, sending them down and getting them maintained professionally, plus the pump testing we do every year. And the hose testing was another big one that we didn't have people work on before. So anyway, it looks pretty exciting. I wasn't going into it thinking we were going to do a lot, and just some of the things, the changes we made, I support. Oh, one last thing is they give you a bonus
Is that it?
Yeah.
Any questions
Is
for
that
Steve?
enough? Is that enough?
Well, I had a question about your form
Yeah.
here, the email address.
What does it say?
Well, it isn't the board email address.
Oh, it was, because I'm the contact for it, and when I signed up originally for that thing, is it my personal address?
I think they're saying it
Hotmail.
has to be a personal address. If you
Yeah,
look
that,
at
is
the
that the
information on
LRFD
there.
at Hotmail?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to-
that is in the system, and if I don't use that address, I'm gonna have to go back and start
Oh.
the whole process again, and I didn't wanna go through that. I can't even edit it on that online, so
They sent it to you as that's your address.
that's where it comes from. So I want you to know that on some of that stuff, for example, if they award us money, they have, from before, they have our Umpqua bank checking account number and stuff, so they would they'll send a sample, they'll hit it, to see if it's still good before they ever process this money, that kind of stuff. So they have that kind of information. And that's why they went through kind of re-identifying everybody, because there's been some fraud on it and stuff. So that's all part of joining or signing up for FEMA stuff.
Thank you. Old business, recommendations for the Lookingglass Rural Fire Department monthly operation calendar. Jerry, I was looking over, it's hard because we don't think this through the whole year, but a couple things I thought were, is every month a board member is supposed to attend a fire department meeting. One time a month, a board member, so I think maybe we should put that on that to reminder. The other thing is the audits, the vice president does the audits. Once a month, he's supposed to come in and do the audit with the fire chief.
Oh,
right.
inventory.
Yeah, inventory, I'm
Monthly-
sorry, yeah, monthly inventory, that's another.
Monthly inventory?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for catching those.
Mhm.
So monthly, we have, inventory, that's by the vice president, and then monthly, the first one you said, Was
One
board
board member is
attend.
to attend, yeah, not the whole
a
meeting.
training.
Yeah, training, one time a month.
And those are always on Thursdays, right?
Correct.
I had a couple of
And
amendments
it's
to
kicking
the
the other one more, so.
The IRS one, when we do our IRS forms, we're required to have them done by February 28th.
Instead of due
Instead
by
of
April,
Yeah,
it should be February.
and then, in September, along with, the audit report to the Department of Revenue, we have to have a copy of the budget and, all of the other assorted stuff, our budget message, everything goes to the county clerk by the end of September also.
Okay, so we have the, I thought I had something, I
You
just.
have the audit report,
Oh, I had due by July, the LB 50 and budget
Yeah.
resolution.
So that's true, that goes to the assessor, but then we have to send stuff to the clerk by the end of September.
By the end of September, and what was that again?
The budget message, the budget calendar. You know what, I think we actually have to send a copy of the notice of the
The public notice?
public notice also. In fact, I know we do. I'm gonna take that down this month, so it's over with, so I don't do that now.
But you said by the end of September.
So,
That's fine. And that goes,
to the county clerk.
so that's typically you are the one who deals
Right, we
with that.
take 2 copies of that, and they send one to the state also, Department of Revenue.
So there's no expense for the one going to the county, and the other ones, of course, have no expense. The inventory and attending training.
The other stuff would look good. Oh, here it is. I have a copy of that, here's that preventive maintenance policy, so I'll just copy it tonight, and you guys can, if you guys want to look at it, see what I was talking about. It looks like the second part of it, we can almost copy word for word, just and do something on the front part.
You good, Jerry?
Yeah, unless somebody, you know, what I can do is revise this, send it out to everybody to look at it again, and then at the next meeting, if we think it looks good, then, you know, we can just distribute it. It's not like this is a policy or something.
Correct. Just
It's
reminder.
just for something for our use, like we have our binders, just to put it in the binder so we can remind ourselves, oh, something's coming up. Let's make sure it gets handled.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
New business, Heroes Day tickets?
Yes, that was something where we had gotten an email from the University of Oregon that, I believe it's in November, they have they honor heroes such as firefighters, I think police, I'm not sure who all they honor. I guess it's all.
It's first responders.
All first responders, yeah, and that's going to be happening at a football game. And what they are offering is to the volunteers and I think their families discounted tickets. So I just wanted to find out, Steve, if you've talked with any of the volunteers about that.
I went to that website and I'm gonna talk to them about it.
And
So the discount, I don't know how much tickets cost to the games, but
well, I think
the discounts.
in the
are
email, I think they
$60
said
ticket.
something about what the cost would be. I don't recall if it was like,
It's
and some-
$60 to $80.
is it 60
Yeah.
days?
So I don't know what a real ticket costs, but I don't know, maybe it's for the Arizona State Oregon football game, so I'll offer that to the people that.
Okay, so I will send you some additional information in that email
Okay,
about helping out the volunteers with that.
okay. Could be interesting, I've never been to one of the Oregon Ducks games. And
I
went
think
online.
they're playing Arizona then?
Arizona State.
Arizona
I went
State.
online and looked at it, there's still some decent, they're mostly end zone tickets and stuff, but there's still some decent ones left.
All right, thank you. I am good.
I have some other new business.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
It just, I believe, came today, an email from SDAO, so Steve and other board members, I don't know if you've had a chance to see the email from SDAO regarding a first responder training grant. Did you happen to see that?
No.
It's where if somebody has been a first responder for at least 2 years with the department, and I think there were some other qualifications perhaps, they can apply for a grant to pay their travel expenses, meals, hotel, whatever, because I think the training is in Michigan.
Oh,
But it can all, you know, all the expenses could be covered.
yeah, I haven't seen that one, so I'll look at this.
So, but they, if anybody were interested in applying for the grant, they would need a letter, I believe, from our board verifying
Okay,
that they're employed here.
okay, I'll look at that.
Okay.
That remind.
So, could we just perhaps preemptively pass a motion approving for anybody, any of our volunteers who meet the criteria and want to apply for the grant? We would supply them with a letter verifying their employment here.
How many do you have over 2 years' experience at?
Well, everybody that's a firefighter one, that's a minimum 2 years experience. I have a lot of them now.
Oh, okay.
But let me look at that thing. and see.
Yeah, you just need to see
Yeah,
what the
sure.
requirements
If you guys want to
are.
make a motion.
I don't know if it's just for the emergency medical responders or if it's for the actual firefighters. I'm not sure exactly what those were about. But would that be reasonable that we pass a motion so that's, we can, if perhaps Steve could get in touch with Roberta, Brenda, am I saying Roberta?
I can
To
write
type
that
up a letter if needed.
Okay.
But we could just, you know, perhaps pass a motion to
I will
approve that
entertain
as
that
needed.
motion
Okay, I so
to
moved.
have Roberta, AKA Brenda, type up a letter on behalf of the Lookingglass Rural Fire Department Board for qualified people to attend the training first.
To apply for a
to
grant.
apply for a grant for the training in Michigan for a first responders training.
Okay, so
I'll
I,
second.
Second, all in favor?
I,
Okay, thank you.
Your grant reminded me one thing I left off again, and that's the safety and security grant. I talked to Jerry about it once this month, but that usually comes in November, and they brought it out earlier this year, SDAO, and they funded it. They increased the funding on it, so security cameras are included on it. And we had approved $3,500, I believe, for 3 cameras and whatever. And that was kind of a general figure that our president of Ranger gave us. And so with that matching grant, we actually have $7,000 to spend.
Oh, wow.
So I've contacted Dave, and I think he wants to come to our meeting in September to give us his take on it. But I can apply for that grant up to $7,000, which would more than cover anything. And so
But
I plan
will
on
the
doing
grant cover the maintenance, the
Right.
monthly maintenance expense?
So I sent him a letter just giving him that figure and saying, and he goes, oh, that's more than enough. But what I need from him, I sent him back emails, I need general, part of the grant is just general figure, hey, that's $3,000 for cameras, $2,000 for the system, $1,000 for maintenance or whatever. So I just need that back from him, and I'm gonna apply for the full amount, and we got that grant before, we didn't spend the full amount they approved us for, but it kinda is right up our alley. In fact, if we don't spend that full amount, we're actually gonna end up spending less than our budgeted amount.
So because it's in the budget, I don't think we need to approve a motion for you to go ahead.
I just
Is
wanna
that
let you know
correct?
I'm
No, I
applying.
think you're correct.
Yeah, I just wanna let you know I applied for it, and he wants to come next month, so if that's okay, he's just one vendor that we can, and he can show us
Right.
what the capabilities are and everything, so.
All right, anything else for new business? And I am good. Any comments from the board? No public comments? All right, the next meeting will be September 12th, 2018. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Move to adjourn?
Second,
Somebody?
Second.
all in favor?